there, guitar players, it's Anthony here at Cutting Edge Guitar, and in this video I want to share with you a follow-on from the last video that I did about the surveying of my audience. So the last video I talked about how I've been surveying my audience to try and find out what people really want from guitar lessons and all of that stuff, especially in this online world that we're now operating in, and what they think I should be able to improve on to make my offer better and all of that sort of thing. So first things first, what I'm going to do, in a moment, I'm going to give you a guided tour of the all new Cutting Edge Guitar platform and how I've basically started immediately implementing all of the things that people have been asking for. So because I like to do that, I think it's very, very important to listen to people and to respond to the things that they want and to try and offer a better service that way. First things first, I have an entirely new pricing structure because I think originally when I started out in this process, I got things very, very wrong because I had taken some bad advice. It was not that it was bad advice, but I took advice from people who are in a completely different market and didn't really understand what you guys are expecting. And also as well, I made a massive error by not doing my due diligence and looking at what the rest of the guitar world does in terms of charging and all of that. So I looked into building a super comprehensive course. The first course that I built was the Advancing Guitarist course. It's a flagship product of mine. It's massive. It's got loads and loads of stuff in it, but also as well, it gets people massive results. Now, what I thought, because I took bad advice, was that was because it was big, comprehensive, and it got people massive results, that it commanded a high ticket price, which I think to a point I would still kind of stand by, that it does command a high ticket price, but what I was charging for it was way north of what anyone else in the guitar world does. But how I was looking at this was that when people buy it, they've got this for a lifetime. Now, when you look at a lifetime purchase, the online world's kind of industry standard is that a lifetime, well, everyone's lifetime is different. If you're 60 and you buy it, you're going to have less access time to something than if you're 25 and you buy it. So a lifetime access generally means 30 years. Okay. Now, I was looking at charging around about £600 per volume of my course. Okay. Now, when you look at all sorts of online degree courses and these sorts of things, it's not overly expensive, but compared to maybe what people are used to paying for a guitar course like mine, and I would also stand by, I think mine is much more comprehensive, has much more stuff in it, actually gets results, and rather than BS's you and saying you don't need to do this and do that, etc. I honestly think that mine is worth it, but I think that the price was a bit of a shock to people just because it's not something that they've seen before with guitar stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, I sold some and there's things to talk about for people that have bought these with how I'm changing things and all the rest of it now, but effectively, what I found in that survey is that people are expecting to pay monthly subscription rather than paying one-time purchase. And what they're expecting to pay is a minuscule amount every month. Kind of a bit like the Netflix effect, right? So when you pay for Netflix, you pay somewhere between £5 and maybe £20 a month, but you get access to an absolute megaton of films and stuff like that. So, basically, looking at what people want from me, I am now making my platform available in a content-only sphere for just £5 a month. Now, that's going to sound absolutely mental. So you're going from charging £600 per advanced course volume. When you put the three of those together, in actual fact, it was £625 that I was charging per volume, which would make that £1,875 if people were buying all three volumes. Now, what I used to do was I used to massively discount that down to £1,500 if people would buy all 3 volumes, okay? One-time purchase. Now, let's just do this, because anyone who's watching this, they might be thinking, like, this is mental. So, bear in mind, £1,875. I'm going to be doing this on a calculator just to make sure that I'm not talking absolute rubbish. £1,875 as a lifetime access purchase, okay? Let's divide that by 30 years, okay? You divide that by 30 years, that makes £62.50 a year. We divide that by 12 months and it actually makes £5.20 a month. So I'm actually kind of still sticking to the same price structure that I had before, except instead of charging for it all up front, I'm spreading it over the monthly cost that people had asked for. So any of my students that have already paid for the lifetime access and all of that stuff, they're going to get access to way more than the stuff that I'm offering now in just terms of content, because there are new offers at Cutting Edge Guitar, and that is with my premium membership. You're now going to be able to not only get hold of the content, but you're going to get access to a dedicated community area where you can post videos to get your feedback, where you can post questions that I will reply to, either with videos or a written text if needs be, and all of that sort of thing. I'm also including a prestige tier where I can actually do group coaching calls and teach one-to-one. But what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to take you to the back end of the Cutting Edge Guitar site and give you a tour of the changes that I've made so that you can see them firsthand. Welcome then, guitar players, to the new look Cutting Edge Guitar. What we're going to do here is take you on a very quick guided tour of the new look back end of the site and all of the different changes that I've made, having listened to my audience tell me what they would like to see. So first things first, let's go inside the community. So once new members are logged in, you've got a choice between the community feature and the products that you have access to as a Cutting Edge Guitar member. So let's check out the community. So this is the new look Cutting Edge Guitar community feature. What I've done, having listened to the feedback that my students and my audience have given me, is I've slimlined it down quite drastically. So I used to have hundreds of different topics in here where you could talk about all sorts of stuff, and one of the things that people were saying to me was that that was far too confusing. So depending on what tier of membership you have, if you have a standard membership, you'll only get access to these 3 topics over here. So any new member will go to a start here. Once you click on start here, what that's going to do is open up this post for you, and if you click this link, this will take you to a back-end product, which is a welcome pack for new members. This is also the way that I've done the videos, the posts and all of that in the topics. They're all the same. So there's posts with content underneath. So if you go to read post, you can get the video, and then you can have all of the instruction underneath. For lessons that I post to this area, they will have guitar tabs and all of that sort of thing. I've got an introduce yourself topic so that people can come here and tell us who they are and tell us a bit about their playing abilities and share any social media that they want to and all of that stuff. And all members will also get access to the Cutting Edge Guitar community discussion. Okay, I actually have an introduce yourself post in here, so hopefully people will start moving over to the actual topic. Obviously you can see some people have introduced themselves in here and all of that good stuff, which was cool. And I will just do posts and all of this stuff in here for us to talk about all things to do with guitar. These topics that you see over here, these are for premium and prestige members only. So this is discussion for the beginners program. I have a beginner to intermediate program, and then I have an advancing guitarist course program which takes you from intermediate up to advanced playing levels. In these topics here, which as I say are locked for premium and above members, what you can do here is you can ask me questions directly about those programs, Or what you can do is post videos of yourself playing the material where I will give you direct feedback on my thoughts and all of that sort of thing. And you get the same thing here for the Advancing Guitarist course. And then down here, this is a specific area purely for Prestige members only. What I'll be posting in there is requested materials for my Prestige members and also the group coaching Zoom calls that I'm going to do. Now, if we just go over here, that's basically all that there is in the community area. Nice and straightforward, no confusing chat area that's going to distract you from playing. It's all just about posts, so you can post and get your replies. It's kind of like an in-house Facebook group. This is basically all this is a Facebook group purely for people that are... like I'll share my YouTube videos and these sorts of things in here. But it's an in-house Facebook group, basically, so that you can become part of a community. But it's not going to be something like a Discord or something like that, which is just constantly going bing, 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 new messages and all of that stuff all the time, which is really distracting actually from the learning experience. So outside of the stuff where we can all have a discussion, and like I say, I will post videos here, but when I go into products over the top right over here, this is where you'll find the bulk of your learning materials. So if you are a beginner guitarist or even an intermediate guitar player, this is the program for you. So when you first click into the beginner program, you'll see that I have an introductory phase module, but then this is going to go into the initial learning where you'll be looking at how to read tab, how to play your first notes and all of that sort of good stuff. And then we have all sorts of resources in here. So anything that looks like this kind of icon is a downloadable PDF. Anything like this kind of icon is a video. So let's just have a little look through here. Also, this kind of icon is text and things like that for you to read through. So if I click into a lesson, you've got the video lesson, but also as well with all of these, I'm including the notation directly underneath. The notation is also downloadable as a PDF so that you can open that on a separate screen so that you can watch the video and then have the PDF separately. Or if you prefer to print them off, you can print them off and have them as hard copy. That's entirely up to you. But also .gp, I've included the Guitar Pro files for all of this stuff. If you have Guitar Pro software, you may be interested to play along to Interactive Guitar Tab. So that's the initial learning phase. Level 1, I'm kind of aligning this with the instrumental grade syllabus, obviously off the back of my experiences of teaching in schools and all of that stuff. So at the level 1 area, we'll be moving on into chords, strumming, connecting chords, but also as well playing your first real actual songs. So we've got a bit of Michael Jackson, Bastille, Bob Marley, Arctic Monkeys, Sweet Home Alabama by Lynyrd Skynyrd, you know, all of that classic kind of vocabulary, moving on down into things like Seven Nation Army, which is White Stripes, Come As You Are by Nirvana, all of that kind of good stuff, bit of Bon Jovi, and over time I will, for members, like premium members, get to request song tutorials and all of that, so I'll be doing new song tutorials, I'll be adding new content all the time as and when people see fit. Level 2, much the same, but moving us on into a new kind of territory of ability. Again, if I just click into any of these, this is what the videos are going to be like. Not for all of the videos, you won't necessarily see Guitar Tab. Obviously, by this point, where we're playing along to the song of Enter Sandman altogether, you should have learned the tune. So that is just purely a play along. So that's what you get in level 2, and then moving on into level 3, this is where we're going to start learning bar chords, the beginnings of lead guitar. Now level 3 is something that I'm currently populating. This is I'm adding new lessons to this every week as we speak. So level 3 only has 14 lessons at the moment, but by the time that I'm finished, this will be another highly comprehensive module. And once I finish populating level 3, that's when I'll be able to back cycle and add new song tutorials and all of that. But any complete beginners that join this right now, you'll see that you've got a lot of content to get through in a structured, logical format where each lesson just goes from the next to the next to the next. So that's one of the things that this all brings to the table that you can't find elsewhere online, is that it's very, very random. With this, you do this lesson, this lesson, this lesson, this lesson, and work through methodically. So that's going to be a beginner to intermediate program. Let's go back up into products over here and then have a look at what you get involved in the Advancing Guitarist course. So the whole point of the Advancing Guitarist course is that it's a super comprehensive guitar course. This is obviously a video that I've recently posted to the course here, so you can see that you can see the video lesson with me. The supporting tab is directly underneath there. And you won't need much more than that for this particular lesson, but if I go into the whole course, what you can see is that, again, this is super comprehensive. Now if I just kind of quickly scroll through, we've got notes at interval and triad mapping. So this is like after you've completed the intermediate stage of level 3, these are the areas that I would be moving into to get you to go from being an intermediate guitar player into a very, very advanced guitar player. So the first few modules of this are all about learning your fretboard inside and out. And of course, I've given you text files, downloadable PDFs, video lessons, audio so that you can play along and all the rest of it. And I will continually update this content as my students are asking and seeing fit for things that they want and they need. But as you can see at the moment, there's already an absolute plethora of stuff for you to be working through. The second sort of phase is all about techniques. So this is all the legato area. We move on to all kinds of techniques that get absolutely dealt with. How to build speed and all of that stuff. Polishing your vibrato and articulation techniques, etc. But then all of this sort of stuff is musical implementation, developing vocabulary, how to play lateral lines up and down the neck, all sorts of information. Now once you've been through all of this stuff, moving into level 2 of this course and then level 3 as well, it's much of the same thing but continuing on with the theme of basically musical implementation. So you're playing over harder tunes or playing through changes and all that stuff. In level 3 there's all stuff all about neoclassical playing, jazz fusion playing and all that stuff. So if we have a quick look at volume 2, again you can see that the setup is pretty much the same. But what we're doing is obviously we're taking this stuff really to the next level. Lots of audio, lots of downloadable PDFs and all of that stuff. There's a lot of content here, but that's something that you shouldn't be overwhelmed by because there's a lot of content everywhere these days. The thing is, what I've done is I've structured out the content, and there's no, when you're following a membership program or something like that, there's absolutely no hassle. There's no, oh, I've got to get this done by this time and I've got to get this done by this time. I mean, it doesn't matter how long these things take you. It's your content. You've got the access to it. You just follow it along as much as you want. Now, in all of this stuff that's in level 3 as well, there's loads of licks, loads of lines, loads of vocabulary for you to learn. So there's just an absolute ton of stuff for every kind of guitar player. But also one of the things that I'm absolutely building into all of this is that I want my students to have direct feedback from me. So if we talk about what's available for the different membership tiers, when you're a standard member, you'll get access to absolutely everything, but what you won't be able to do is access the premium and the prestige members and talk to those guys. You will be able to talk to them in the Cutting Edge Guitar community discussion group, but you won't be able to talk to them specifically about the programs in those extra topics that I showed you earlier. You won't be able to ask questions and get your direct feedback on particular programs like the beginners program or the advancing guitarist courses. That's all stuff that's reserved for the premium members. Now the only thing that the premium members won't get access to is the live Zoom group coaching calls that I'm going to do. Now at a later date, at the moment, I'll just every now and then when people are asking for it, when people are available, I'll do a Zoom call. But at a later date from today, what I want to do is get a lot more structure involved in there. There will be more information to come out about that over time. But what I want to do with those group coaching calls is take my students through the programs. So that's one of the things that a lot of people have said to me in the feedback, is that they're like, I really, really want to go through this content, but I need a teacher to help me do that. And I think the only way that I can do that is to set a start date. On that start date, say, right, guys, I'm going through everything that's in lesson 1 next week. We're going to sort out this element. I can respond to your questions and, you know, all of the rest of it, but it has to be at a specific start date and it has to be right. If you haven't signed on the dotted line by this point, I'm sorry, but I'm closing the membership at this point and I'm going to start the course here, because I can't have people joining the course 6 months down the line and going, oh, I need help with the stuff that's on lesson 1. I'm just not going to be able to do that. I want to bring people through all at the same time. So just to put you all guys in the picture as well, you'll see that standard membership doesn't have a 10-day free trial. Standard membership, if you just want to start getting access to the content, just get involved and just start it straight away. Premium membership has a 10-day free trial, because premium membership gives you access to absolutely everything. And also as well, you can ask some questions in there and all that stuff, post some videos, get some feedback, see if you like everything over those 10 days. If you take that 10-day free trial and are like, I don't feel like I need to ask the questions and all that stuff, you can always then just downgrade to standard. Or if you feel like you need to join some of the Zoom group coaching calls with me, you can upgrade to Prestige. But I've not included the 10-day free trial on here either, because it's going to require you to join actual lessons with me, and I feel that if you're joining actual lessons with me, I don't feel like that is something that people should be getting for free. It doesn't, you know, it's my time. My time is incredibly valuable, and I think it would be much fairer to give you a free trial of all of the stuff that's in the platform. And like I say, if you want to join the Zoom calls and everything with me, you can upgrade at a later date. So there we go, guys. That is a full look through everything that is on the all new Cutting Edge Guitar platform. Well, if you're still here at this point, thank you so much for watching and getting involved with everything at this point. It would be really, really helpful to get any more feedback and see what my audience still thinks. I hope that I have been able to put together all of the things that people are looking for, and of course now with this new membership only model that I'm doing, with particular feedback from students and all of that stuff, I will continue to be able to do live lessons or content or whatever that helps people through this material, because ultimately what I'm looking to do is help as many guitar players as I can achieve the results that they want. At the end of the day, everyone's out there spending loads of money on guitars, loads of money on amps and things like the Quad Cortex that I use and all of that stuff. But the thing that matters the most is you being able to actually be able to use those things and get some fun out of it and enjoy playing the guitar. And that's where I really come in. And if I can help the students to get good, but not only that, be able to put you all together in a place where you can converse about your most favourite thing in the world, almost a bit like going down the pub on a Friday night, but instead of talking about football or something like that, you can actually get together with a bunch of people that truly understand your passion for this instrument, and you can learn something in a happy and healthy environment, and you can get that whole music college experience, but for a tiny fraction of the cost of money that costs someone like me. I mean, I spent thousands upon thousands on my musical education. So that's my goal, and I'm really hoping that I can help as many people as I can. Okay guys, thanks ever so much for watching. Any more feedback is greatly appreciated, and I will look forward to seeing you in another video or a lesson sometime soon. Take care.